Hello and welcome to the WriteCome.com podcast, where we help you to make money from your words. Each episode will be sharing tips, tricks, and strategies you can use to make more money from your writing, publishing, and marketing to your fans and audience. Let's get started with your host, Barry J. McDonald.
Hi, this is Barry here, and you are very, very welcome to today's podcast episode from WriteCome.com. And today I want to talk about selling spuds and making bucks. Now, the other night I was sitting outside our local chip shop, and I was waiting for Catherine to come back with our order. And it was just when I was actually sitting in it, I was just kind of thinking back to how long the store had actually been there. Now, I think the premises, it must have been up there probably about 10 years or longer. It's been running as a chip shop. And in those 10 years, from what I can remember, I think there must be at least 4 or 5 different people have had tried to make a go of it, running the chip shop, and they have all had various levels of success. Now, we had some people who had tried to run the chip shop and only been successful for a couple of weeks and then threw in the towel, couldn't make a success for it. Then we had other people then who did, last a little bit longer, a couple of months, had a little bit of success, were doing well, and then for whatever reason they closed up and they gave up on it. And then we have the people who are running the chip shop right now. Now, the chip shop right now, it does seem like it has been handed to the right people in that, the food is really, really great. It's, it's not too expensive, and, it's very rare that you would get a bad meal out of it. And because of that, then it's actually gone really, really popular. Now, the chip shop where it is actually connected on to our local grocery store. So sometimes you'll actually find that it's actually got so popular that you can't actually get into the car park. If you're coming up to do your grocery shopping, sometimes unfortunately you will find the car park is filled with people looking to buy the fish and chips for the night or whatever, and you have to park at the side of the road just to get into your grocery shopping. And I was just thinking about that the other night, in that it's really, really weird that all of those businesses were working with the same premises. The premises is right along the main road, along the main Dublin Road. So the majority of traffic that passes out of Newry goes right past its door. So it's never ever been short of traffic going by it. It's always been in the same place. And if you do kind of consider, I don't know how expensive potatoes have got over the years or how expensive or cheaper fish has got over the years, but I assume it's probably always been around the same kind of price range. And, the fact that some people, couldn't make a success of it, even though they were in, the same location that the people who are in it right now that are thriving in it, and the people who were in the exact same location, more or less selling the same products, just couldn't make a success of it and didn't last as long in the business. And I just want you maybe just to kind of maybe take that over to your own business and think about that for a moment. Whatever you are doing right now, whether it is blogging, whether it's fiction writing, whatever content you're creating, whatever stuff you are selling, it's easy for us to think that, well, because we are kind of in this business, if somebody else was in the exact same situation we were in, they would be getting the exact same results. And I want you to think about that for a moment. Unfortunately, sometimes we kind of tell ourselves lies or convince ourselves that this is the best our business is ever going to be. If somebody else was writing fiction, they would only be able to sell as many books as we were. If they had the same time limitations as you had, they would only be able to write a certain amount of blog posts. Maybe if they had to cope with the same bad Wi-Fi that you have, well, then they mightn't be able to create as much video courses or upload as many videos to YouTube. But I want you to think about that for a moment and ask yourself, is that really, really true? Or have you been telling some lies to yourself, some porcupines, and kind of convincing yourself that if somebody was dropped into your business right now, would they get the same results as you are getting? And it's only when I was actually thinking about that the other night, what separated all those people who had tried to run the chip shop? Why had some been successful and others hadn't been? Now, if you consider that, if we put them all on the same kind of level playing field, selling the same product, the location hasn't changed, everything is the exact same, prices probably haven't changed over the years. The only difference between all those chip shops over the years was the person behind the counter. and the person behind the counter had their own limitations and had only seen that business in a certain way. Maybe some people seen it as a get-rich scheme, and because they had treated it that way, they were probably buying inferior potatoes. They were probably buying some students that didn't really care about customer service. They didn't treat the customers properly, and they probably hired maybe a cheap chef to work in the kitchen, or whoever was working on the deep fat fryers or whatever, but they probably hired the cheapest staff, and because of that then the food didn't come out consistently good, and because of that then the business wasn't successful. And then you have somebody else, like the people who are in the business right now, probably see it more as a kind of a long-term game. They know that the food needs to be consistently good to make a name for itself, and they have probably hired better staff who probably have better kind of customer care and all of that, and all of that kind of has gone into the business. So unfortunately, the only limitations that have probably been in between all those businesses running those premises was the person that was behind the counter and the limitations they'd have on their mind. So I want you to think about that for a moment, something to ponder on today. If somebody was in the same situation as you are in right now, would they be getting the same results as you are getting? Would they be telling themselves the same excuses? Would they be kind of pulling the wool over their own eyes and saying, yes, this is as good as it's going to be. Nobody could make any more money out of what I am doing right now. Is that really true, or is that something that you are telling yourself? Now, as you probably do get better, as you probably become a better writer, as you probably get more experience as what you do, or maybe you eventually invest in some software or whatever that speeds up some of your processes, yes, you will improve, but you will only improve in the kind of limitations that are in your mind. And as I said in the podcast episode yesterday, I am trying to maybe make you more aware of what is really going on in your life. Why are you getting the results that you are getting? You are probably limited in the kind of mental blinkers that you have on your mind right now. That is not making you see opportunities. That is not making you, realize that you could be creating better content or making more money from your whatever you are doing right now because of the limitations on your mind. So think about that today. If you were somebody who was handed that chip shop today, how long would you last on it? Would you be like those people who only lasted a couple of weeks, couple of months, or would you be somebody who is really, really successful? As I said, and they were all simply selling the exact same product, but each of them had far, far different results. So give that some thought today. And as always, if you'd like to reach out to me, or if you'd like me to cover something in this podcast, or if you just want to ask me a question or a suggestion, or if you want to leave a comment, it'd be much, much appreciated. You can reach out to barrymcdonald@gmail.com. And if you want to come over to the Rightcome site, again, if you go over to Rightcome, WRITECOME.com, you'll find the Rightcome site over there on the web. Or if you want to drop by the Facebook page, we are also on Facebook. Again, do a quick search for Rightcome and you'll find the content over there as well. So as always, thanks for sharing your time again today. Take care and have a great day. Bye-bye.
Thanks for joining us today. If you'd like more from the Rightcome.com podcast, be sure to subscribe now for more tips, tricks, and ideas you can use to make more money from your words. See you in the next episode.